Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to show you how to make this grandfather clock. Now this one isn't completely finished. We still have to put the pendulums inside, but you'll be able to see it completely finished when we're done. This is the template. It does take me a little bit to put them on my website, but when I get around to it, it will be on there for you to download for free. But in the meantime, pause it here and you can get all the measurements and everything. Also, if you want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell to be notified, as I do put free furniture templates out all the time, as well as free printable dollhouse wallpaper and flooring and backsplashes and stuff like that too.
It's just a rough sketch.
Now this is a sketch of what it's going to look like when it's completed. And it's going to be a grandfather clock. Alright, so step one is you want to take all of the measurements and you want to cut them. Cut them to all the sizes that you're going to need. Download yourself a little grandfather clock image off of the internet. Make sure it's royalty free image so you don't get in trouble for using it. And then cut all your pieces and everything. You're going to need some jewelry chain. This is just regular jewelry chain that I got out of like the craft section. Alright, once you have that, then we'll get started on putting it together.
We're going to glue the door together. Like so.
Okay, so to make this easier, I'm taking a piece of masking tape with the sticky side facing up. And then I'm going to take a piece with the sticky side facing down and I'm going to stick it to the table. Just like this. Pull it nice and snug, and then you're going to attach your door framing to that and then glue it. That will help it from moving, and you can use the straight edge of the masking tape to help keep it straight if that will help you better. Alright, so you're going to go ahead and frame it in, and you want to have the arch of the top at the top of the frame, and then the bottom is straight, and then you want to have the two sides.
It'll look like this when it's finished, when it's glued together.
So once you glue all four pieces together, you should have something that looks like this door here. A little bit of an arch and that. Now for this arch, you can cut this out a couple ways. You can either sand it until you get that roundness on the same little sander thing that we just did these pieces with, or you can actually just cut it out the way you want it, or you can wrap a piece of sandpaper around a wooden dowel and then you can just keep going in and out like that with it.
It should look like that when you're done.
Okay, now just make sure it's square, add some glue, and let it dry.
Okay.
Okay, so now I've put a piece of masking tape going across the top. And I'm just going to cut this away like this so that we can pick it up. Now you want to let it dry.
Now we have the sides. You think? All right. Now this is the casing door,
which is this piece here.
at the weight case and the chain case.
We went ahead and masking taped ours together. However, if you're going to do this, you want to go ahead and masking tape it, leave it, and then put it together right away and let it dry and remove the masking tape. Because if you leave the masking tape on there for weeks like this has been a project we've been working on and just haven't gotten to it with all the other things we're doing for probably at least 3 months now. So when we go to take that off, we're going to have to sand the wood because chances are the masking tape is going to be still sticking to it.
Now this is called the weight case, and that's the weight case door. The back goes inside of the side pieces. And what we're going to do is put a little bit of glue down here and a little bit of glue down there.
All right, so then you want to put the glue in there and hold it, and then put a piece of masking tape on it to hold it until it dries.
Make sure when you put the masking tape on it, you don't bend the sides in.
Just keep it
You want
flat.
to keep it kind of straight. And you can check the measurement with your door. Make sure the door is going to be the proper width and height.
Okay, so now you want to glue the top door, this one here. You want to go ahead and glue that frame together exactly the same way we did the bottom frame. All right, so we have all the pieces. We're using some Loctite super glue. We're going to go ahead and glue that together by putting a little bit of glue on each side of here and then gluing it to the frame. Okay, so now that's framed. I want to go ahead and put a piece of tape on it again, the same way I did the other one, so that we can lift it up. Okay, so now we're going to glue the top casing together the same way we did the bottom. This is the part that's next, right here.
The clock goes inside of.
We're making this box. Now, if you do not want to glue all of these pieces together, you can get a block of wood that is exactly the same size as the measurements finished glued together for the top and the bottom, and then you can just use that instead of gluing all 4 pieces. However, we wanted it to be as realistic as possible, so we did it like that. Now, the possibility of putting a real watch in here or something like that, you could do that as well. We did not do that just because who's really going to see that it's telling time? Okay, now we want to go ahead and work with the spindles for the side. I'll post a video at the very end on how you can make these spindles and how they have that like little curve to each one. All right, so that's that. Now we're going to go ahead and cut them down so that they can fit.
Small pieces?
Yep.
Okay, we got, if you look on there, you'll see that it says filler. That's these pieces here. They'll go inside, one on each side, and what they do is you'll take this clock case compartment filler block and put that in there so you can glue your clock movement picture to it. And we'll just glue that in there real quick. You won't need any tape to hold this because it'll practically hold itself. And what you'll do is you'll glue your clock picture to that. Cut.
All right, now you want to get your clock case bottom and molding. It's 3 different sizes. And we're going to go ahead and glue them on, and we'll show you how.
You want to grab your 2 smallest rectangles, the top one and the bottom one. They're both the same size. So I'm going to grab the 2 smallest ones. And the reason we're going to put them on there first is because the way the door hinges are going to be applied, you'll be able to put your pin down through it without having any problem. All right, these are part of the molding system, which goes on the top of the clock weight housing. It's going to go top and bottom, and you'll keep it flush with the back and even left and right. So we'll put some glue on that, and the reason we're doing that is to make it easier to put your pins through for your hinges, because you won't be able to get them in there if you do it any other way.
Okay. It's flush at the back.
Back is flush, and it's even on both sides, top and bottom, and this is the smallest of the three.
And when he says even, he means evenly spaced on each side, because it does hang over just a little bit.
Yeah. Now what you'll do is take some cardboard and put in here, and if this is nice and dry, you'll sand the back of it a little bit rounded, so when the door opens up it doesn't bind on you. It'll go in there like that. And make sure your doors
Sand it.
sanded. Where's the sand?
Okay, so now you want to sand the edge of the door just a little bit.
Just wrap a piece of sandpaper around a little stick, and for convenience sake it'll make it nice and easy. Let it hang over the edge of something sharp just far enough that you can hold this on an angle and give it a few strokes back and forth like so, and that'll make a little rounded edge if you go up and down. And what that'll do is make it easier to open and close your door. And what I should have did was sanded the other side, because I'm going to open it that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or it don't make any difference with the way I open it.
Doesn't matter.
Huh?
Doesn't matter.
Well, let me do it the other way, because it ain't going to look bad.
Okay, so Dad just sanded the opposite side, so now he's going to sand the other side. Depending on which way you want your door to open, that's the side you want to go ahead and sand. He's being backwards today.
It don't matter, you can do either side.
You can open up to the left, like this, or you can open it the other way. Well, actually, this would be my right. See, I'm the one backwards. This is the right, and then opening it to the left. It's up to you. All right, so once you have that sanded, then you want to get yourself some stick pins. And if you have not watched a tutorial on the stick pin drill bit, then go ahead and check that out under the build tips. And then we show you how you can make a drill bit from a stick pin. All right, and it makes it the perfect size so that when you're doing your stick pins as your doors, it works out wonders.
Fold 2 pieces of fairly thick cardboard. Put one top and bottom, and that'll be your spacer. There's your rounded edge. We're going to put the hinge on this side, so it'll be like so. Get it in the middle of your clock case housing.
All right, so here is our pretend makeshift drill bit. We made this out of a stick pin. I don't know if you can see the tip of that, how it's a little bit different, and then that's pointy. Careful you don't end up hurting yourself, but you want to put the pointy end in your drill bit and then go ahead and tighten it up, and then that's going to give you a drill bit end. Now again, if you don't know how to do this, go to the build tip tricks part of my website and you'll be able to find it. All right? So now you have it.
Now what we're going to do is center this door over top of the frame so it's even on the left and even on the right, and it hangs over the same amount top and bottom. We'll take a little piece of tape and put it over the whole works here. But you put 2 pieces of cardboard in here first.
Now we are using basswood, so a lot of you ask what type of wood we use. Well, there's a couple things that we do a lot of times, and we use regular paint stirrers, and we use the 1/4-inch paint stirrers because they're cheaper than buying wood a lot of times. However, when we're doing projects that require something wider, we end up buying basswood. All right, Midwest Products makes this in America. I'm not sure where you're watching from, but we use a couple different sizes. You know, they come in different thicknesses. We typically go from 1/8 down. Occasionally we would do 1/4, but most of the time we do 1/8. And then for this project, we are using some 1/8 inch and some 1/32. Okay, so this is probably as thick as a piece of like paper board that you would get out of like maybe a box of mac and cheese or something. So that's kind of what that is. If you can see, it's kind of really flimsy. It is not balsa wood, it's basswood. Okay, balsa wood is okay for some of those projects that you want to use that you need to carve, but as far as durability, I personally like the basswood much better. I would love to get my hands on some pine wood, but that's not going to happen because I've looked all over the internet and I've yet to be able to find that. Okay, so Dad has this pretty much ready now, so we're going to go ahead and put these hinges in now. Okay, so now that he's got this taped at the top and bottom and then around the sides and everything, the door is perfectly centered the way that we want it. You want to go ahead and mark now where you're going to put the hinges. That way you know where you're going to be drilling.
I'm going to take the pencil and mark the center of that strip. Be careful not to go past the curvature that you sanded in there. So this is the center part right there. And turn it over and do the other side, the bottom side. That's that. There's the pencil mark there. Now you want to get this way. Make sure you're in the middle here. All right, now there you can see what we got there. Be careful you don't jab yourself because these things are kind of sharp when they're moving at high speed.
Sorry about that.
We'll just drill a little hole. We'll try to drill a little hole. And you only got to go in about 1/8 of an inch, which is more than enough. You may want to put it on there and put a little pressure on it before you turn the drill on.
Don't put too much pressure because you will bend the drill bit. Remember, it is just a stick pin you're using, so it's very, very flimsy. All right, now you're going to take your stick pins and you're going to put them in the holes that you just drilled. I think he just stuck himself after he just said, be careful.
I guess I can see the hole. There you go. You don't want to go in too far because you don't want to split this wood because it is kind of thin, small.
All right, now once you have that done, then you want to go ahead and cut them off and tap them in.
Now the excess is going to be sharp, so be careful. You want to take your needle nose or whatever and push it in the rest of the way. That's just so you don't hurt yourself until you glue the other parts on.
Okay. Now I'm going to put a little dab of crazy glue right there because that piece of wood started to split.
Did it?
Yeah. Now if your wood didn't split, then you don't need to. How about that side?
On this side.
Oh, well, maybe it was the wrong side. I've seen it split.
Okay.
Yeah, so if it does split because you are on the edge, just put a tiny bit of your crazy glue on there and it'll be okay.
And this is the 32nd, or is this the 16th? I can't remember. 16th.
No, that's the 32nd.
This is the 32nd. That's why it splits so easy.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's on there, and that's all you have to do.
All right, so let that set up for a second because we did add some crazy glue on it, so we don't want to remove any of the parts. All right, now we're going to go ahead and get ready and do the rest of the framing.
Part, yeah. This is the clock case cover. We'll do the same thing with this clock case cover. We'll put this in the center. Center, left and right. And we'll do it here. Center, left and right.
All right, so basically we're doing the same exact thing we just did here on that. So we're not going to go ahead and show you that again because that would just be repetitive. But again, here's the door, there's that, it's just a different size. We're going to go ahead and do all of that and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, so now once you have the top piece glued together like the bottom piece, we're going to go ahead and put the spindles on the sides of the top.
Make a mark at the edge of where the side of the clock case comes. And that's where the spindle will go. Mark both sides.
And again, how you're going to make this spindle will be posted at the end of the video.
Put a little dab of glue there.
Be sure not to glue your door closed though.
Yeah, don't do that.
You might be pretty upset to go through all this work and then you get to the point to open the door and you can't.
Better to put the glue on the spindle. You can add more to it later on with a toothpick and put a little glue on it. I put it on the ends. If you're not real particular, you can put it on there and just set it in. But to me, it seems like it'll be a little messy doing it that way. Want to glue the side pieces of the top crown together.
This is the part here that we're working on. All right, so go ahead and glue that together. You want to go ahead and glue the sides on there.
Once we have that, we'll glue it to the top.
Okay, so now we're going to take that crown piece that we just glued together and we're going to glue it onto the top of the base where the clock sits. It's going to get glued right up around the top of here. And again, we're just using some Loctite super glue. You can use whatever you like. That's just what I prefer. So you can do that. I mean, we do use some Elmer's Wood Glue Max for a lot of our wood projects. But when you're doing something super, super tiny, you need something that's going to stick a little bit better than Elmer's. Because you can't get as much glue on as you can with the Crazy Glue. Or the super glue, or the Loctite. I believe they call it super glue. I don't know. It's all bought up. But yeah. All right. So that's what we're doing there. And then at this point, we have the top piece done, the spindles, the door. We printed the clock off of the internet. You need to get a royalty-free image if you do that. Otherwise, you know, you're not supposed to reproduce it. So that's that. And then
movement.
And then this one here is partially done. It still needs another coat of the watered down acrylic. And we still need to put the pendulums in there. Okay, so this is the bottom base. I untaped it and everything. It's pretty much dry. I gave it a quick little sand job on the electric sander. You can use a regular piece of sandpaper if you don't have an electric. Now we're going to start gluing this thing together, because right now, up to this point, it just looks like a bunch of boxes.
First one goes on top.
All right.
Evenly.
Now, when he said first one, you have no idea what he's talking about, right? When he's talking about the molding piece.
The step molding, what we did is we glued the center one and the top one together, and it goes underneath of the clock housing. So it's step down molding like that. We'll put some glue on it and glue that together.
Now, we did make the second one slightly different than the first one because we just wanted it to look just a tad bit different. So if you don't think they look exactly alike, it's because they're not. But they're very similar enough that we can show you what we're doing. We're getting down to the last bit of super glue in there. Here, let me squeeze it. Here.
All right.
Got to get that last bit out. I don't know why they make them so round up here to make that lid. You would think they would have a different contraption for the top, because it's very difficult to get them out of there when it gets to the top of it, because you can't squeeze this very easily. All right, so glue that on the base of the clock. And 5 hours later, we'll show you how to do this. It seems like the longest video ever. All right. After that, then you want to put glue on the next piece of trim. Here.
All right.
All right, now we're just smoothing it out with that stick because we don't want it globbed. And I put a lot of glue on there, so it's kind of globby. Now that's getting glued to the bottom piece right here.
And we're keeping it again, we're keeping it fairly centered.
Make sure you didn't glue your door shut before you glue it together. Okay, so now I went ahead and put some glue on the bottom of the door and the top of the door. Now when you're gluing this, make sure you remember to keep this arch upward. Here you go, Dad.
Yeah. Where'd you put it at? On top and the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
We'll make this even here.
Okay, now we're laying it flat on a flat surface so that we can make sure that it's going to be all even on the back side.
Might not be enough glue on there.
There's lots more on here.
No. It's not, something's not right there.
Okay, so our board was a little warped from sitting for 3 months, so we had to put a little extra crazy glue on there. But other than that, it turned out okay for that. Now, after that, we have to do the trim on the bottom base. which is going to be like around here. Okay, and you want to go ahead and cut those out. Okay, so you want to put the horizontal ones going across this direction. The vertical are going to go this way. Okay, the vertical are longer and they'll go down along here. Okay, horizontal this way. Go ahead and glue all 4 of them in. Make sure they're framed in really close together. Okay, so once you have all 4 sides on there, then you're going to need to take your molding for the bottom and you're going to cut one part of the side straight and the other part at a 45. So you should have 2 short pieces on an angle with a flat end, and then the large one should have both pieces at a 45. All right, and that's so that it'll fit together and go across the bottom just like this. Now, we actually sanded this right here so that it looks like it has contour of a bevel like regular molding would.
It's called a chamfered edge.
Okay, you need some more glue?
I think this might be wet enough. I'm not sure. Might need a little bit. Okay.
All right, now you're going to glue the front piece on and now the sides. Here.
Oh my God.
Excessive much? Don't use excessive glue. Otherwise it'll ooze out. But with what I'm working with here, it's not exactly easy to get the glue out. And normally I would just move on to the next one, but I don't have any more over here. I'll have to go to the store and get some more.
I got plenty.
Are you sure about that? Alright, so then you're going to glue the left and right, which is the shorter pieces, and then the larger piece is going to go across the front. Hopefully this video hasn't been too terribly long for you. But this is what the housing will look like. Alright, now, for the very last 2 parts of this is to put the pendulums in, the little weights and stuff. Those need to be put in, okay? But we are actually going to put these in on this clock because this clock needs to be finished. And then as far as the face goes, you just cut that and then you would glue that to the back of that.
I may trim this on a little angle here because it looks a little,
Okay, here.
a little too much.
Take this. You want to make sure it fits first?
Right in the middle. Okay.
Need more? All right, so put some glue on there, and to make these, Dad can show you how he did that. It was pretty simple. He took some chain and some round wooden dowels and made the weights, and then we'll show you the other part. All right, so that's what the finished clock will look like, minus the second coat of paint and the gloss. All right, so now to show you how to make those weights, we'll go ahead and get started on that real quick. Okay, so to make the pendulum, we're just using a wooden dowel. It's about a, what?
It's about a quarter inch.
Quarter inch?
Yeah.
Okay, 1/4 inch dowel. And then we need to round it, kind of like this a little bit.
Just bevel it around. And what I've got to do is put it in the drill. Don't make it too tight because it'll dent this, but you're not going to use it anyway. And take a good piece of sandpaper. It's getting close.
Now he's just going back and forth and letting the drill do the spinning. This is a really good build tip for a lot of things. You can use this for legs on chairs and anything that you really want round, honestly. Banisters.
I'm going to finish it by hand here. Because it's really not slick. And you can see it's nice and round.
No, they can't see because you're not in the camera.
Okay, what I did was touched it up. Took the flat spot off the top.
I don't know if you can really see that or not because it's not really wanting to focus. But anyway, it looks rounded. I don't know if you can tell. But after that, then you want to go ahead and cut it off. And you can cut it with your miter saw, or if you have this tool, you can use that to cut it off. And if you're using this tool, then you're going to just put it back.
Watch it don't go flying across the room on you.
Like that.
But it
Looks like it split it. All right, so
cracked it a little bit, but you can use it. You can use this miter saw and cut it off.
okay, and then that'll give you your pendulum.
What you do is you just cut a thin strip off of your balsa wood or your basswood or your coffee stir. I did the coffee stir with this because the coffee stir is a little stronger.
Oh, it split it because this is actually split there.
Yeah. Now the pendulum is going to come down about 3/8 of an inch from the bottom. So we want to mark this up here.
Now, when he said he used the coffee stir, he split it to make it smaller.
I use the coffee stir because it's nice and thin and it's strong.
Now, you can get coffee stirrers on Amazon pretty cheap. I'm not sure.
I give them 7-Eleven if you're lucky.
I'm not sure, like, if you're able to shop on Amazon or not from where you are, but they have like boxes of 1,000 there, and they're like $10. So they're really, really reasonable. And you can get 7-inch ones, or you can get the smaller ones. Okay, so now we need to glue that together and then make the weights.
Just gonna put a piece of scrap in there.
Okay, so now I cut a 1/8 inch dowel, and I've got a gold Sharpie marker. I'm going to paint them gold. goes on really, really easy, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and paint the entire thing, top and bottom. Okay, so Dad took a scrap piece of wood and cut it for the inside, and he drilled 2 holes on the right and left side of the pendulum for the weights, and then 1 in the middle for the actual pendulum.
And then I've glued the pendulum in place, and I'll get a piece of thin copper wire to anchor these two. I got a piece somewhere.
You can use jewelry wire too, as long as it's the very, very thin stuff. Okay, so Dad took some regular wire. This isn't the copper, this is just regular wire we had. And he fed it through the chain. So now he's going to go ahead and...
I'll leave enough to go through the hole and put some glue on it.
Yeah.
I want to bend it so the chain don't come loose. And then I'll cut it off there. I thought I cut it.
You didn't cut it. You got close, but you didn't do it.
It didn't go all the way through.
Alright, so now we're going to feed that up through the holes that he drilled on here, and we're going to put some crazy glue to hold it. Now this is a lot like threading a needle, so don't get discouraged because you might not get it the first 3 times. And again, you might get lucky and get it the first time. It can be easy or it can be hard depending. Now, Dad just got it the first time. So you want to go ahead and put some crazy glue on that and bend that over. Okay, so for the weights, you can wrap the wire through the same way and then stick it down in there and crazy glue it. Or you can just glue it to it with some crazy glue just like that.
That's going to be the easiest way.
Right.
But I did put a small indentation in there for the chain to fit down in there and put a little glue in a hole and then stick the chain in it. But I got to cut the chain off the right length, because it'll hang down like that, if you can see it.
Stop moving it and they can. Alright, so we'll add the weights and then that's it. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. I will add this template eventually to my website, so if you want to go ahead and get started on it now, I would suggest you pause the video and write down the measurements and everything for this. Alright, in the meantime, check out my website, dollhousetutorials.com. I'm also on Facebook, lots and lots of photos on there, and sometimes I post things on there that I don't post on my blog. So definitely check that out under Dollhouse Miniature Madness and Tutorials. Hit the bell if you want to be notified for more videos, and download your free templates for your furniture and your wallpaper and flooring and stuff like that too. It's all free. All right. See you next time. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you decide to make this, please share it with us on our Facebook wall or through my email so that we can see it. And if you're another YouTube person, just you like it and you want to do it, then go ahead. I challenge you to make it and share it with me, but also please give me a shout out. Thanks a lot. Have a wonderful day. Okay, so you want to sand between the pencil marks, and then you'll get this pattern that looks kind of like a routed out table leg. All right, now this little sanding thing that we have up here, it's like a little sanding drum, but it actually came with the Dremel, and they also have these in electric nail files. So you could use either one, and it would probably do the same thing.
Now, did you
Okay,
remember
so
how?
now this is what you're going to come up with when you're completely done. You can use the same method also to make decorative table legs if you want. And again, we just use the Dremel sanding drum, which is very, very small. Okay, so here's the Dremel. I've got it set up in there, and then here's the little pieces that go onto the drum. And when you buy the set, they come already put together, which you can see in here. Got lots of stuff in there. All right.
When we get in here, put everything together.
All right, so here it is here on once it's already on the clock. It's not completely finished with this clock yet, but you get the idea. All right, now we're going to go ahead and cut them to length, and we'll show you how to attach them.